We have two blacks that we use regularly in our theater. This is our flat black paint. We use this to paint any scenic black that we want. If we need black with our white or with our other colors to mix a special color, we use this lamp black from the Spectrum brand. There are several others from Roscoe and other brands and Mann Brothers as well, but this is the one that's local and fairly inexpensive and does a great job. I'm also going to use this as a primer on the Masonite, and that way the Masonite gets set with the flat black and gets sealed in with the flat black before I paint the stage floor black. The stage floor black uses the Mann Brothers Veriflor black paint. This is a semi-gloss paint, and 2 coats of this on a brand new piece of Masonite will last multiple years. It's a good, durable, long-term care. It mops real easily. It cleans up easily. You don't want to use the flat black on your stage floor. It does not clean easy. It picks up dirt. You see the dirt all over the place. You can mop it, but then you walk on it and you see footprints. The Veriflor black is a really good, durable stage floor paint and will last many years if treated well. So 1 coat of flat black and 2 coats of Veriflor scenic stage floor black paint. We don't water down our primers ever. You don't want to water down your primer. If you water down your primer, you are going to basically disable some of the adhesive and cover up functions of it, and it may not do a proper priming job. This has been sitting here for a long time, months, several months, so it has not been shaken in a long time. Got to dig into all those corners and get all that paint mixed up. Don't let that paint sit in the cracks of the paint can. Also try not to leave your paint can open. This isn't going to take very long, but that's good standard practice. The first time you are loading up your roller, it's going to soak up a lot of paint into the roller, and it's not going to go on as much. So the first one, we're not going to get a lot of coverage. But just roll it on, nice even coat. This goes on pretty quickly with the roller. And your standard roller technique is, when it is all out of the roller, don't work real hard at squeezing more paint out. That's just overworking the roller, and it's not getting a good coverage on there. It looks like it might be covering, but it's not covering very well, and it's going to spatter paint at me and on my feet and on my face if I'm painting a wall or a ceiling. So when it starts to get a little bit thin, just go back and reload up the roller. If you're painting something like a stage floor, you might want to be conscious of your linear strokes and not leaving little ridges. This looks rather glossy because it's still wet, but when it dries, it will be flat black, and it will act as a fabulous primer. I've had more success with flat black as a primer on my stage floor than I have with white. Even though this is not necessarily a primer paint, it takes those slick Masonite layers and saturates them with paint and water. If you need to have some extra insurance with your fresh Masonite, you can take a wet mop and mop it first, and that will start to raise the grain on the Masonite and allow your paint to penetrate the glossy surface more effectively. I did not do that here, but that is an alternative as well. Imperfections like this strand of fabric, get it out of there. We want to have a nice, clean, smooth stage floor. And that's basically it. Smooth off any ridges that might need it. You might ask, what nap roller did I use? And I used a medium nap roller. This is a smooth surface, and with smooth surfaces, the rollers often say that you want a very short nap roller for smooth surfaces, and then the more rough the surfaces go, the thicker the nap you need to get into all the cracks and crevices. That's the theory behind that. But I find a really, really thin nap roller, the thinnest 1/4 inch or shortest nap available. I don't find it's very successful. They don't hold a lot of paint. I'd rather have a medium nap roller and have it hold more paint, and I feel like I get better coverage and I get more successful coverage. So we let that dry, and in a couple hours we could paint our first coat of stage floor black on it. Our piece of stage floor Masonite is primed with the flat black. As you can see, it's not a shiny finish. So we're going to use the Mann Brothers Verifloor Black here, and we're going to put a couple coats of that on there. Of course, the paint, as you can see, is got all this white stuff on top. That means it's separated from its main components, so we need to stir it up really well. Should not be white. Now that's starting to look like black. We're going to use roller trays, and the Mann Brothers paint here is really sticks to things. And if you don't wash it off right away, or if you're doing a whole stage floor, there's chances are your paint is going to be in your bucket a long time, in your paint tray a long time, and then when you go to clean it, you're going to have a hard time cleaning it because it really adheres well. So this is the one time that I would recommend using a roller tray liner, because this stuff is really sticky, and it even is hard to clean off of your hands at the end of the workday. So if you want to wear latex gloves or nitrile gloves, you can do that. Here's one that was used, and this is all that stage floor paint. Just hard to get off. So we're going to use our roller tray with a roller tray insert. I'm not a big fan of roller tray inserts. I feel like they get in the way. They're one more thing. It's kind of loosey-goosey in there. and it wobbles around. I like to have more control over my paint, and I like the rigidity of the paint tray. I don't really like the loosey-goosey nature of these. And I'm kind of against disposable things. I'd rather clean things out and reuse them multiple times. But again, stage 4 paint, good call to use the roller tray inserts. Every time I go to pour some the paint in, go ahead and stir it up again, because it will probably start to separate again. It's been sitting for a long time. I did have it nicely mixed up, but now it's separating again immediately. Get those components mixed up. Maybe one of these days I need to invest in a paint shaking machine. Pour some paint in there. Always have a brush on hand to clean up the drips and to get those drips out of these crevices in the lid, in the rim. Try not to make a mess. All right, we're ready to go. Again, I'm using this 1/2-inch nap roller. I like the thicker nap rollers. They hold more paint and get better coverage. Although they will not do as perfectly smooth of a surface. There is a roller texture that kind of happens when you use rollers. This paint actually settles down though pretty good. So I'm just making sure I've got good coverage, making sure I'm overlapping, making sure I'm getting all the way to the edges and off the edges, and then making sure I come back and I smooth out any little peaks that might be left because of the edge of the roller or heavy paint. Pouring more paint in there, so I'm going to stir it up again. And now that I've got some paint out of the can, I can stir a little more aggressively without spilling everywhere. I'm going to hit the edges right now just to make sure I got a good coverage on the edges, but I'm going to keep all my strokes on my paint going in the same direction. That will give you a nice, smoother, cleaner finish. Back one more time. Make sure I've done it as smoothly as possible. And that's it. Rolling paint goes really fast. I do have to put on a second coat, so rather than clean out my roller twice, I'm going to bag the roller in the tray so I can let it sit for the next 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, however long it takes to dry. Should be able to do another coat on there in under an hour. This will keep the paint from evaporating and drying up and caking up. And I'll be good for a short time. Not good for long-term storage, but good enough for a short time. I am going to clean out my stick and my brush though. Time for our second coat. We can throw our bag away. Now the roller has been sitting in the paint for the last hour or so, and it's going to be kind of heavily loaded. So we will try and squeeze some of that out. Get it to roll around, even out, but it's going to go on pretty heavy. I went this way with the last one. I'm going to maybe go the other way with, we'll go the other direction this time. Now I am noticing that as I'm doing this, I am using a 1/2-inch nap roller, and it is making it a little roller bumpy. There's a roller texture that comes out of rollers, and if I really needed a smooth surface, I would need to go down to a much more, a much smoother surface roller. Either a 3/8 or something smaller nap than that. Hit it one more time from this side. Make sure I'm not having a extra paint there in the middle where the two roller coats happen. That third coat went fast. Wow. Second coat of Veriflor semi-gloss paint finish. One coat of the flat black. So third coat total, but only 2 coats of the Verifloor. I'm going to pour all this unused paint back in. I did not water down my paint. I did not say that at the beginning, but I do not add water to this paint. I use it at 100% strength, and that's important. We don't need to water down the Verifloor stage floor paint. We want to use it at full strength. I'm not trying to get it completely out of this roller liner because I'm going to throw the roller liner away, the tray liner, but I do want to save as much paint as possible. We'll wash this out just in case there's any wet paint on there. Do a final cleaning of the rim. Tap it gently closed. These are 4 of the most common roller nap thicknesses for your standard cloth or fabric style rollers. The first is a 1/4 inch thick nap. These are intended for your smoothest surfaces and will apply your smoothest coat of paint. They also do not hold a lot of paint, so you may make more trips to the roller tray. With new Masonite, this might be the logical choice since the surface is already smooth. The second is a 3/8 inch nap roller, the most commonly available size. If you buy in bulk packages, you will probably only find this size available. The roller pictured here has been used before and washed clean for reuse. The third size is the 1/2 inch nap roller thickness. This is my personal preference for painting stage floors. The fourth size is the 3/4 inch nap roller, which is intended to get into cracks and crevices of less smooth surfaces, such as stucco or cinder block walls. We want to avoid using this one for our stage floor Masonite since it will create more of a surface texture than we want for stage floors. For a side-by-side comparison of the finished textures, you would expect the 1/4 inch nap roller to be the smoothest. But the 3/8 inch nap roller, which was previously used and washed, almost looks smoother. Even with a 1/2 inch nap roller, I find it difficult to see a significant difference, which is why I would choose this size and its ability to hold more paint per load. We do start to see a significant surface texture when using the 3/4 inch nap roller. Avoid using them for Masonite intended for your permanent stage floor installations.